anyway, it's illustrative of something within international neo-Nazi world. These guys were Boneface was supposedly recruited into Ukraine through the Misanthropic Division, which is a Ukrainian neo-Nazi group. Anyway, here
this is their point man in the United States for a time.
Yeah, and this is gone. This exchange has gone viral.
Christopher, there's a presidential race going on right now. Are you going to vote in 2024? What do you think is going to happen?
My vote is useless. I think Biden's better than Trump because he sends rockets to Ukraine.
There's Boneface behind him right there.
Support of Ukraine, you mean?
Hell Ukraine. Hell Azov.
Slava Ukraina. Hell Azov.
Tell me this, Christopher.
If I just send your fucking dreidel, you fucking reborn slave. Slava Ukraina.
So this is who your taxpayer money is going to for the next 10 years.
What inspired you to kind of tattoo up like this? Ukraine.
Christopher, there's a president.
Okay, so I mean, it looks like a complete clown show. I don't blame people for calling them glowies. It might be like they're obviously heavily infiltrated by feds. But that doesn't mean that that's not real, or that Boneface didn't fight with neo-Nazis in Ukraine, fight with Azov, and that he's been in and out of prison constantly. I think, he was sentenced initially for attacking minorities in Florida, or a plan to attack minorities, and then he fled to Ukraine, but he's back somehow. What's going on?
Yeah,
here?
well, he apparently worked with Azov, and has even talked apparently about fighting alongside the Tornado Battalion, which is just the most horrific group of men, committing the most unspeakable crimes, things that I don't want to say out loud, because it's just horrible to think about.
Well, they were all jailed in Ukraine, even under the post-Maidan government, because what they did was so heinous. And then they were all let out at the beginning of the war. I mean, you hear so much about Wagner mercenaries being all just jailed convicts who have been let out into fight in Bakhmut, who are just these repulsive thugs. But then you have the Tornado Battalion in Ukraine under Zelensky's orders were let out after doing things to kids that we don't even want to talk about here. So he fought with them. Now he's rampaging around in the streets of Florida. And what's his name? Christopher Pohlhaus.
Yeah.
Said, at least Biden is sending rockets to Ukraine, but he doesn't support either Biden or Trump.
It bears repeating. If this guy fought with Azov, he got American guns. He got American funds.
Yeah.
If he fought with Azov, the Nazi battalion, Ukraine's official Nazi regiment now, then he was being supplied with U.S. taxpayer money, and that's what your money is going to. It's that simple. People like that. That's who you're paying, and they make and they scream and shout about Nazis in the United States. As frankly, I think there is a problem with Nazis, and my main problem is these guys right here that are getting our tax money, right? Who are getting seemingly, it's bizarre. How did this guy even get to Ukraine? How did he get back? He's chronically underemployed, as any man who looks like that would be.
Yeah.
Right. So how does he move around? These are all kind of open questions, and I think. I don't want to connect the dots until we have the evidence to do it, but it kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah. I mean, Alex Rubinstein's written about other neo-Nazis involved with the Misanthropic Division, or Adam Waffen, Craig Lang. And then there was another one Craig Lang was actually a murderer who robbed a couple and killed them in Florida, and then was able to get to Ukraine with their money. So
now he's, living life, right?
Well, he's benefiting from our tax dollars.
Yeah.
This is last year after the war began. This is ABC. Army vet charged in Florida double murder may remain at large in Ukraine, referring to Craig Lang.
Yeah.
North Carolina
Yeah.
native Craig Lang. Should North Carolina native Craig Lang depart Ukraine and return to the U.S., he can immediately be taken into custody by federal authorities. Lang, a 32-year-old U.S. Army veteran turned murder suspect who previously moved to Ukraine, is one of 2 former soldiers accused of killing a husband and wife nearly 4 years ago in a parking lot after they traveled nearly 3 hours to respond to an online firearms advertisement. So basically, he tricked them into thinking that they could buy guns from him, and then he killed them and took their money and then fled to Ukraine. But the thing is, he's fighting in Ukraine. They don't really mention that at the top of the article. And he's
Right.
clearly benefiting. He's fought in the Georgian Legion, I believe.
I'm not sure about that.
He's definitely fought in Azov. But,
Yeah.
Azov has been rebranded as the 3rd Regiment. Andrei Beletsky, the neo-Nazi founder of Azov, recently received an award, a commendation from Vladimir Zelensky.
In person.
In the U.S., the Anti-Defamation League has said that Azov is not a problem, and that they're fighting the real enemy, which is Russia. So they're basically no longer.
They've been fully rehabilitated.
Their ADL is rehabilitating them.
Yeah.
The ADL told Alex Rubinstein that they no longer consider Azov to be a problem.
The group whose founder and current commander said that the goal, the purpose of Ukraine is to lead the white races in a final crusade against the Semite-led Untermenschen. That's how he views his place in the world. And, he's pals with ostensibly Jewish Zelensky, the man who found out he was Jewish on February 24th, 2022, and has never let us forget it since.
So anyway, give your money, continue to, let's sign the MOU through Biden, the memorandum of understanding, so we can no longer oppose sending our money to U.S. neo-Nazis embedded in state-sponsored battalions in Ukraine. Guys like Kent Boneface McClellan, killers like Craig Lang, fighting with U.S. weapons on the battlefield for another generation.